It's Tuesday the 18th of May, it's budget week. Generally what happens is that the government clears out some legislation before the budget, and that's what's happening today. But first of all, there's questions to ministers. Duncan Webb to the Minister of Finance about the economy. The Leader of the Opposition and Debbie Ngāruawapaka have got questions 2 and 3. They're both asking the Prime Minister about whether she stands by the government's statements and actions. Michael Woodhouse to the Minister of Finance on delivery on past budgets. Tamati Coffey to the Minister of Housing about emergency housing in Rotorua. Julian Genter to the Minister of Finance about balancing child poverty reduction, emissions and paying off debt. Joe Luxton to the Minister of Education about property maintenance. David Seymour to the Minister for Health about the Laura Ferguson Trust and what support was offered to it. Louise Upston to the Minister of Social Development asking whether people staying in emergency housing are safe. Theresa Ngobi to the Minister of Transport about pathways to a net zero emission transport sector. Simeon Brown to the Minister of Police about gang membership. And Helen White to the Minister of Commerce about KiwiSaver. We'll then go on to legislation. There are 3 bills to start with that are having their committee stages. The Overseas Investment Amendment Bill in the name of David Parker, the Holidays Increasing Sick Leave Amendment Bill in the name of the Honourable Michael Wood, and the Building Products, Methods, Modular Components and Other Matters Amendment Bill in the name of the Honourable Porter Williams. We'll then have the continuation of the first reading of the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership Legislation Bill, which includes a debate on the committee report on that treaty. Then the first reading of the Drug and Substance Checking Legislation Bill, the Plant in the name of the Honourable Andrew Little, the Plant Varieties Rights Bill in the name of Dr David Clark, and the second reading of the Fair Trading Amendment Bill in the name of Dr Clark. Now, it's one of those days where it's not clear how much progress will be made. It might be that we make a lot of progress, or it might be that we get stuck earlier on. I'll be back here again tomorrow at 2 o'clock.